keep raising this point, and again, I keep raising it to county councils and things like that. How come there's so many going into little Aldi, Tesco, SuperValu, all these big shops? Give or take in Cavan and them big shops, give or take, there could be 40, 50 people, 60 or 70, maybe 80, 100 maybe at most around the shop, around the whole area. And that's considered safe. This is the thing. And then you go, and then the schools are open to it, and Norma Foley says they're safe. But you look at, we have to always believe Norma Foley, because I don't think she talks any sense, but she'll look at. But again, this is the thing. The churches, no. Even if there's 30 in it, no. 10 people out of the funeral, no. We want to reduce that. That's literally, everybody is asking at the moment to up the numbers for the funeral, even if it's 25, 30 at most. Again, be a bit sympathetic. Again, it's showing a bit of sympathy and a bit of, I suppose, humanity. That's the word I always use, humanity. But again, this government don't want to hear about it. No. We don't want anybody at a funeral. But these people have to sit in their cars, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters have to sit in their cars and can't go even into the church. So in some cases they can't even go to the graves. They're sitting out in the car park looking at the person being buried. And again, this is the thing. It's not acceptable. It's simply not acceptable. And again, as I always say, and I say this to everybody, and some people might disagree with me, but then again, you're entitled to your opinion. Well, I think everybody would agree. Everybody's entitled to the places of worship, no matter if you're Muslim, Christian, Protestant, whatever. You're entitled to your place of worship. You're entitled to go to mass or whatever you need to go. Because again, every other country in Europe has them open, has the churches open to a certain degree. And again, when up the numbers, again, there's full on no mass at all. And this is the thing. This is the thing I say to everybody. They want to take God out of it. The last few years they've been trying their best and trying to harness the government here. They've been trying to take God out of everything. And it's as simple as that. They've been trying to take God out of the schools. They're trying to take God out of everything. And and this is the thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to put man as the superior and the man as the leader of destiny. And that doesn't work. It really doesn't work because the man above is in charge. Every Christian would believe the man above is in charge of what happens and what doesn't happen. And what goes and what doesn't go and what's acceptable and what happens in the world. And what suffering happens to people and everything. And they're taking God out of the picture here. They're just trying to completely kick out God out of the picture. And just have man. And just have a government in charge. And again, I'm sure people agree. The man above is the man in charge. No matter whatever government, the United Nations or whatever like that. Or the European Union or whatever. God is the man in charge. And he will judge us when our time comes for these misdeeds. And hopefully, please God, he judge these TDs and senators and everything. Hopefully they judge them very harshly. For allowing this carry on to go on. But they won't let you, again, I haven't seen any evidence that churches, for example, I looked in Cavan when the churches were open, they were allowed 50 people in. There was no problem. And many priests in Cavan said that. I'm sure Father PJ would say the same. I looked at it, I looked at all the records. Not one case, as far as I'm aware. Maybe there was one or two cases, isolated cases in churches. But not one or two cases in churches. As far as I'm aware, again, quote me if I'm wrong, but there probably was one or two. But again, this is the thing, churches are safe. Because there are wide spaces. They are, unless some rural churches are a bit smaller. But again, you could fit 20 people social distance. In my local church down here, you could fit nearly, give or take, 70, 80 social distance, 2 metres apart, wearing a mask. What more does the government want? Again, I don't see the difference. This is the thing I always say. I don't see the difference. When people go into Aldi, Lidl or Tesco or Dunn's, how can they go in there? And the same with the schools. How can they go into the schools? And then you turn around and say to me the churches are off limit. How can they say that? Because I know, for example, in my school, there's a good, I suppose at the moment there's a good 300 people in. And how is that, again, this is the comparison. How can one aspect be safe and then they say the other thing's not safe because, there's a few people praying. And again, this is the thing that happened with Father PJ. A few people went in to pray and the government are giving out and the guards are giving out about it. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Again, he's in every right under the sun to practice his faith in the same mass. And they're breaking no laws. And that's just as simple as that. I don't see any laws. Again, if they wear masks and the social distance, what more does the government want them to do? Do they want them to sit at home in a corner? Like, literally, what more do they want people to do? People want, particularly older people want to go to mass, get the sacrament. Hear mass, they want to be there physically, they don't want to be looking at a screen all day. It gives them eye strain, it's not good for the eyes, particularly because again, the majority of these people, in Mullahoe and County Cavan, for example, in Father PJ's parish, would be elderly people. Vast majority would be elderly people who would be going to mass in that part of Cavan. And they would be good, they probably wouldn't know how to use technology, majority of them. And they probably would rather be there. And I can tell by looking at Father PJ that he'd be the type of person that would rather see the person in person, be there in person, than on the side of a computer screen or on the other side of a phone. I can tell by the look of that Father PJ. And I tell you something, he's a brave man, and I give him full dues for that. But this is the thing, they want to take out God. They've took it out of the schools, they've took it out of the hospitals. Last time I was in the hospital when I was in first year. I remember this, and I remember this very clearly. That, I remember they took a cross down on one of the wards, and I didn't question at the time. But, I noticed that and I remember that now, that they took a cross down. There's crosses on the wards. There was one at the top of the ward. Let's say the ward was there, and there's a cross just there. And then some wards there was a picture of God and statue of Mary. And the majority of that's gone really now. And the statue of Mary is still there. In one of the wards, I remember, because before COVID, a year before COVID, I suppose, I was in visiting a friend, and the statue of Mary was there, but the crosses weren't there. There used to be always crosses on the ward, on the top of the ward, but that's not there now. And this is the thing: they want man to be in charge. They don't want God to be in charge. They want to take God out of the picture, and they've obviously done that. We obviously know in our history. People who underestimate God and underestimate Jesus and underestimate everything that we associate with the Catholic Church, with Christianity, will meet a bad fate. And let's be honest, we'll meet a bad fate. We'll be judged, and I'm sure the government should realise that it's not the Christian thing to be doing, to be stopping people from getting the sacraments. Getting the blessing in the churches. Because as I say, being with your God, praying to your God, praying for healthiness, praying for happiness, praying for a better tomorrow. It's the best place to be. It is really, really the best place to be, and it's a nice, peaceful environment. It's a nice, sacred environment where you can pray and you can peacefully pray and you can pray quietly to your God. And again, I'm sure people agree, it's the most safest place you could imagine. Imagine, again, I don't see, I put this straight to people, I don't see why they can't up it to 25 at the funeral, from 10 to 25. I can't see. I know people saying the numbers are rising and things like that, but this is the thing. At the end of the day, I think it's going to rise anyway, no matter how. They can't just keep people out forever. Let's be honest, they can't do that forever. Because I'm sure people agree, you can't do it forever. It's simple as that, you can't do it forever. That's just the thing. We need to show a bit of humanity. We need to kind of get back, because again, particularly funerals, and that's the thing I'm really touching on here, because you can only have one funeral. You can only say one goodbye. And the people need that for grieving. People do need that. And again, the government don't really care less, because that's just how cold-hearted they are in this country. You think they would care a bit of empathy, but no, not even one care in the world about that. They never thought about that when they went to golf gate. They never thought about that when OT went and had the party. They never thought about it. Never came to their head about people who were suffering out there. Never thought about it. And it's never talked about in the media. The people who are suffering, apart from COVID, people who are suffering can't go to funerals, people who are suffering because the business has gone under, people who are suffering from lost loved ones for suicide. Because everything's focused, again, you can focus a bit, of course, it's free media, you can focus a bit on COVID and a bit on the other issues. But again, they're focusing on one thing, and one thing is not the main cause of everything. Because there's small other things too, as I say, suicide, mental health issues, two major things at the moment. People's mental health is just literally on the edge. That's everybody's, because nobody can really cope anymore with another year or two, God forbid, of another lockdown, which is, it looks, I have to be honest with people, it looks like it'll be another year. But again, I say to people to hold on, I really do say, and I pray and hope that, God will find a solution, because again, it's up to the man above to sort out this, and it's up to the man to find a solution to our problems and to judge the people who have to be judged. And thank you.